Hey there movie lovers, welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're heading to a galaxy far, far away with the 2002 Star Wars epic Attack of the Clones. This film brought us epic battles, new characters and lots of CGI. But how much do you really know about what happened behind the scenes? From surprising character choices to visual effects secrets, we're uncovering 20 things you never knew about Attack of the Clones. It wasn't until March 2000, just 3 months before filming was due to begin, that George Lucas delivered his first rough draft of the script. As he continued to refine his ideas during set construction, Lucas brought in writer Jonathan Hales, who had previously penned numerous episodes of the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, to help strengthen the final draft. In the end, the shooting script wasn't completed until just a week before principal photography commenced. A significant portion of the criticism of The Phantom Menace had been aimed at the first prequel's most widely disliked character, Jar Jar Binks, played by Ahmed Best. As a tongue-in-cheek response to the widespread fan backlash, Lucas gave Attack of the Clones the working title, Jar Jar's Big Adventure. In a playful move to tease his own cast and crew, the film's second draft, dated June 2000, even bore that mock title in place of the final name. Ian McCaig, the artist and filmmaker behind Darth Maul's creation, originally intended for Darth Sidious's apprentice in Attack of the Clones to be a woman. This character was designed to serve as a foil to Padme and to explore darker, foreboding forces embodied in a female figure, depicted in concept art with a Medusa-like hairstyle. Ultimately, however, the villainous role evolved into Count Dooku, portrayed by Christopher Lee. Industrial Light and Magic created a staggering 2,817 visual effects shots for the film, although only 2,000 of these made it into the final cut. With a total shot count of 2,161, it's fair to say that nearly every shot in the movie contains some form of visual effects, 92.55% to be exact. Although many might assume that The Phantom Menace was the first Star Wars film to feature a digital Yoda rather than a practical puppet, it was actually Attack of the Clones. While the Blu-ray release of The Phantom Menace does include a CGI Yoda, audiences who saw the film in cinemas or earlier home video versions will recall that Yoda was originally portrayed as a puppet, with the digital version only introduced years later. This was because early effects tests for a fully digital Yoda proved unsatisfactory, and it was not until Attack of the Clones that Industrial Light and Magic finally achieved the necessary level of visual fidelity. Consequently, when The Phantom Menace was re-released on Blu-ray years later, Lucas chose to retrofit the new digital Yoda into the film. References to THX-1138, George Lucas's feature film debut, have become a hallmark throughout the Star Wars universe, with the earliest appearances dating back to 1977's A New Hope.
Prisoner transfer from cell block 1138.
Though not legible in the film itself, apparently the clone troopers in the film have red LED lights in the back of their helmets that read 1138. All those scenes of clone troopers fighting droids and piloting ships full of Jedis feature no flesh and blood actors. The film's animation director, Rob Coleman, revealed that every single one of the armoured clones in the movie was entirely computer-generated. The only human input in their performance came from motion capture footage recorded at Industrial Light and Magic, which was used to make the animation appear more realistic. Although George Lucas believed Jedi lightsabers should only be blue or green, he agreed to Samuel L. Jackson's request for his character Mace Windu to wield a purple blade during the final battle. To this day, Windu remains the only live-action character to use a purple lightsaber. What sets Mace's saber apart even further is the engraving of the letters BMF on its hilt, a reference to Jackson's role in Pulp Fiction, meaning bad motherfucker. Despite this being a hallmark of Jackson's persona, the actor revealed that he never requested the engraving. Instead, the production crew added it simply because they admired him. Anthony Daniels portrayed C-3PO across all three Star Wars trilogies, but Attack of the Clones marked the first occasion he appeared out of his metallic costume, making a brief cameo in the Outlander Club. In the same scene, Ahmed Best, the actor behind the character Jar Jar Binks, also makes a short appearance in human form. Daniels and Best's brief cameos are far from the only ones in the film. 3 of George Lucas's children also make appearances during the action. His daughters Katie and Amanda portray patrons at the Outlander Club, while his son Jet appears as a Jedi Padawan in the archives. Also, some members of the boy band NSYNC filmed Jedi cameos, later cut by George Lucas. They appeared as Jedi in the Battle of Geonosis, though Justin Timberlake and Lance Bass missed the shoot. Although Ewan McGregor grew out his hair and beard to portray Obi-Wan Kenobi in the film, he soon went on to shoot Ridley Scott's war epic Black Hawk Down, which required him to be clean-shaven with a closely cropped buzz cut. So, when Lucas needed him back for reshoots, the production team had to create a fake beard and long hair to restore his Obi-Wan Kenobi look. It is fairly noticeable in several scenes, sometimes cutting back and forth between the real beard and the fake one. You can spot the fake when he speaks to Anakin in the lift, at the Outlander Club, in the Jedi Temple alongside Mace Windu and Yoda, during his interrogation by Count Dooku, and during the various scenes on Kamino. It's easy to miss if you're not paying attention, but once you know, you'll spot it every time. Unsurprisingly, the search for an actor to portray a grown Anakin Skywalker was extensive, with reports suggesting that over 400 actors were screen tested for the role. Alongside up-and-coming lesser-known performers, auditions were held with the likes of Jonathan Brandis, Devon Sawa, Joshua Jackson, Ryan Phillippe, Colin Hanks, and Paul Walker. In addition, Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, and Leonardo DiCaprio were all considered. DiCaprio later confirmed he had met with George Lucas to discuss the role, but ultimately turned it down. Hayden Christensen eventually secured the part, largely due to his on-screen chemistry with Natalie Portman, and Lucas's belief that the pair looked good together. One of the most frequent criticisms levelled at the prequels is their extensive reliance on visual effects. As such, Hayden Christensen remarked that he thoroughly enjoyed filming the sequence set in the Outlander Club, as it was one of the few sets built entirely without digital extensions or blue screen elements. Terence Stamp appeared in The Phantom Menace as Chancellor Valorum, but chose not to return following a less than enjoyable experience on the first film. In an interview, Stamp was scathing in his criticism of George Lucas's directorial approach. He remarked that he hadn't rated Lucas highly as a director, explaining that he didn't feel Lucas was particularly focused on working with actors, being far more interested in stuff and effects. He was especially disappointed after anticipating a scene with Natalie Portman, only to discover on arriving in Australia that she wouldn't be present. On the day the scene was to be shot, Stamp recalled asking where Portman was, only for Lucas to point at a piece of paper on the wall and say, "That's Natalie." He found the experience thoroughly uninspiring. Hugh Quarshie played Captain Panaka, Queen Amidilla's chief of security at Theed Palace in The Phantom Menace. He agreed to return only if he could read the entire script, a request that was denied, leading him to decline the role. It is well known that George Lucas has a habit of fixing or breaking his films in later home video releases. But one of his changes for the Attack of the Clones DVD release actually made sense. In the original theatrical version, it wasn't entirely clear that Jango Fett's jetpack malfunctioned, as he attempted to escape from Mace Windu in the moments before the Jedi decapitated him. To clarify this for the home video release, Lucas added distinctive sparks to Fett's jetpack, effectively illustrating that it was indeed broken and prevented him from flying to safety. The CGI-heavy droid factory set piece was not part of the principal photography. Originally, Anakin and Padme were filmed immediately upon their arrival on Geonosis. However, after deciding the sequence needed more excitement, Lucas added the droid factory detour during reshoots in March 2001. Unsurprisingly to anyone who has seen it, the pre-production was rushed. Lucas hurriedly pre-visualized the shots he wanted, and the actual live-action filming was completed in just 4.5 hours. Dissatisfied with the romantic dialogue he had written, George Lucas encouraged Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman to ad-lib the flirtatious exchange that features Padme and Anakin sharing a dinner in a villa on Naboo. Their brief back and forth about aggressive negotiations was entirely improvised, not scripted. Ironically, it comes across as more natural than the pre-planned moment that follows, in which Anakin floats a CGI pear across the table. Those familiar with Ireland or who appreciate Grand University architecture will recognise that the Jedi Archive Room in the film is an almost exact architectural replica of the renowned Long Room at Trinity College Dublin Library. Both feature barrel-vaulted ceilings, double-height bookshelves, and aisles lined with busts. The resemblance was so striking that Trinity considered legal action following the film's release, though this matter appeared to fade away by 2003. The film grossed over $310 million in North America and over $338 million internationally, bringing its worldwide total to nearly $650 million. But it was not the top-grossing film of the year, neither in North America, where it finished third, nor worldwide, where it was placed fourth. This marked the first time a Star Wars film had not achieved this distinction. In North America, it was surpassed by Spider-Man and The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, both of which also received more favourable critical acclaim. Globally, it was also outgrossed by Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. When adjusted for inflation, Attack of the Clones ranks as the lowest performing live-action Star Wars film at the box office. By 2002, VHS had been replaced by DVD, making Attack of the Clones the last Star Wars film released on the now obsolete tape format in the US. The VHS edition featured exclusive content, including a short featurette called Star Wars Connections with C-3PO and R2-D2, which recapped the entire 5-movie saga in chronological order. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about Attack of the Clones. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.